8:30 and, well, 8:26. And I am getting ready to go in the car because I am going down to my grandmother's house this morning. Am I straight?
Well, you gotta back up to get your wheels straight. Keep going a little back.
Good?
Where do you know in this town? Oh, for that?
It's now 8:50 in the morning, and we're at my grandma's house, and I'm just rolling around because she is getting up and getting on the potty and getting everything done, and I don't like to see that, so I'm just rolling around, and I am really quite sad this morning because I hopped on Facebook, and one of the dementia groups that I follow for a particular woman and her mother, her mother passed away last night at like 10 something in the evening, and it just really struck me because I just screen recorded and posted one of their live videos about like inspiration and like stepping up and taking care of your loved one, and like if you're not taking care of your loved one now, like getting ready to do so, and all this stuff. And I just did that because I wanted people to see that message. And then like a month later, the woman is passed away and gone. And it is a somewhat happy thing because she no longer is dealing with dementia, and she no longer is in pain and suffering and confusion and whatever, and she's with Jesus because they did have faith in Jesus, and she's with God and whatever. But at the same time, it's like the worst thing because it's not like you get those years back with your loved one. So for me, it's been really, 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 really hard to try and remember my grandmother and not sick, and like not sick and not like the way she is. Like I have a hard time remembering her as the person who would come over to my house and we'd bake cookies and we'd watch the Ellen DeGeneres show, and she'd come with me and make me soup when I was sick. And I remember when I first started anxiety medication, I was super, super, super nervous, and she stayed with me that whole weekend, and she, like, my mom had stuff to do, so, like, she couldn't stay with me the week, like, she couldn't stay home. She had, like, a golf tournament or something that was already booked and paid for and stuff. And it's important to like let your parents get away too, like when you're receiving care from them, because like otherwise it could be like resentment and stuff, and which is not good. But anyway, so she stayed with me the whole weekend. She made me food. She talked to the doctor, and I ended up being fine. But it was just like that first like week and whatever, that was really rough. And she was there for me for that, and that was one of the rough points of this last hospitalization in January, was that she couldn't be there for me. And like she would advocate for me and stuff like that and say, no, she needs this. And last time I was in the hospital when I got my pump first put in, which was 2013, or 2010, sorry, 2010. I got it replaced in 2013. At 2010, something happened medically. I had a medical issue, and she advocated for me and made sure I got the right care and the right whatever. And she stayed by my bedside, and she was very, very concerned because basically what happened was I was very, very tired one day, and that's not like me to sleep in the hospital. And you don't really sleep in hospitals. So then I was sleeping all night basically, and around midnight, like, nobody had heard from me, nobody had done anything. And so I they had called like the rapid response or the on-call doctor or whatever, and I ended up waking up like rather traumatically because they shined a light in my eye and whatever and all this stuff. But she was there for that. She was very concerned. I have pictures, like, you know, and I don't really remember her as that person, and it's very hard because I want to remember her as someone who was healthy and someone who was happy and whatever. But right now she's not happy or healthy. I mean, she's happy, like, she's not like whatever, but she's not the happiest she could be. And that woman passing away last night really just made me sad because I loved to follow their journey through dementia, and they were very like faith based, so it made me kind of go back to my faith a little bit because I was like angry, but she helped me realize that God is in control of everything, and even though this is a terrible part of his plan, he is in control and whatever, and there is a greater good to all of this. And I'm somewhat thankful to dementia now, because if things weren't the way that they were, I wouldn't be a healthier person mentally, because I wouldn't have the right treatment that I need, Now, I wouldn't have the diagnosis, I wouldn't have the right treatment. Now, would I have much rather have done it without going to the hospital? Absolutely, but things happen, and everything happens for a reason. And one day when we all die, we can be like, well, why did you do this to me when I was 8 years old? And then, why did you do this to me when I was 22? And why did you do this to me when I was 40? Why did you have her have dementia at 88? But she's getting close to her 89th birthday. It's in December, so if she can make it through the fall and the winter, she'll be 89. Like, that's crazy. She's outliving everyone. Her sister is still with us. Her sister is like 93, 90 something. But it made me really sad this morning. So January and Dot, I'm happy that you are no longer in pain, and I'm happy that you are getting to experience the joy of Jesus, and I'm so sorry that you had to leave your family like this. And January, I'm so sorry that your mother is no longer here, and I just pray for all of you, because it's not fair. I had to wait and take a short break there for my metal alarm to go off because I didn't want my phone to drop. But yeah, it's not fair that any of these people have to go through any of this, and it's very, very hard to watch someone who is alive but die very, 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 very slowly. And I just had a friend, she's a college class or high school classmate, but I just had her post on Facebook the other day that her her aunt or her grandmother, I think it was her aunt, who has been diagnosed with dementia, and that's really sad because I can imagine my own aunt's being diagnosed. And so I reached out to her and I said, hey, my grandma has it. She's had it for 3 years now, so I'm pretty well versed in all of it. So if you need someone to talk to, like, let me know. She was like, oh, that means a lot. And I'm like, absolutely, And that's why I share my story on here with her. And I share our journey, and I share videos of her. And, it's hard to take videos of her in this condition, but I do because I know she'd want to be able to help someone deep down. Like, I know she'd be able to, I know she'd be proud, or I know, like, if she was in her right mind, she'd be proud to help someone, and she'd want me to share our story, and she'd think that I was courageous and whatever, and she'd be very happy. So that's what I do, is I share her story, and I share my own journey, because if I could just help one teenager, one young adult, one 20-something who is dealing with the same thing, whether it's your mother or your grandmother or your grandpa or whoever, because I have another classmate whose father has Alzheimer's, and he's in his 50s. So I often say that I feel guilty because I've had my grandmother for 20-ish amazing years, because the last 19 amazing years, because the last 4 have been really hard. But I feel guilty because he is losing his father at such a young age. As far as I know, he's still with us. I don't know if I have to check Facebook from time to time, but you know I just I I feel guilty because I'm here I am crying and upset over my grandma, but yet she's 80 something years old and she's not 50, you know what I mean? She's not young. I've had a good life with her and I have memories, even though they're hard to keep. I do have them if I think back, She watched me graduate high school. She watched me walk across the stage. I did walk that day. And, just little things like that. She was there for a bunch of birthdays and all that stuff. But it's just hard. So my heart is sad this morning for a family who I didn't know, but I knew because they shared their journey. And, I want to send flowers or something, It's a lot. This whole journey will break someone down if they aren't careful, and that's kind of what it did to me, is broke me down. So, hi! My Gram's caregiver's leaving. The young one. Yeah, I'm heading back now. Bye. She was like, your mom's looking for you. And I'm like, I know, I'm going back. I just wanted to film my video. Don't really get a lot of privacy to film videos, and if I said that I was sad about something on the internet, my mom would be concerned. So, I just want to keep it to myself. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go inside now, and we're gonna have a good time. It's like 10:52, almost 11, and I just had breakfast like literally 5 minutes ago. But I started to feel a little bit anxious, so I decided to come outside. And that was a comment that I got on one of my recent videos, is how to help people when they're feeling anxious or when they don't feel good or whatever. First piece of advice is to stay on top of your medication. Make sure you're not missing doses, and make sure you're not... Actually, I'll make that a whole new video idea. Hold on. But I just filmed a little video on panic attacks because somebody wanted to know. And then I got a bunch of old ladies talking about how... Hi.
How are you today?
Good, how are you?
You okay? Things come?
No. My grandmother lives here.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I'm just visiting.
Oh,
Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Wow. Oh jeez. Some lady thought I lived here. I wish. I really do. I really do wish I lived in a place like this. It's cute, it's safe. There's no like solicitors or any creepy people. But got old ladies talking about whether there's sidewalks up in here, and it's because I was walking by with my iced coffee, and they were like, "Oh, did you go to the Dunkin' Donuts?" And I'm like, "No, I'd get hit if I did, because there's traffic and cars and whatever." And then they're like, "Oh, there's no sidewalks," and I'm like, "Nope, no sidewalks." But yeah, I'm in a sad mood today because I read that really sad posting this morning, and it's just a reminder that one of these days I'm gonna have to deal with that being my reality too, and I don't want to. And I don't want I don't want that to be my reality, because I selfishly want to keep her here forever, and I want to keep her as long as I humanly can. And I wish more than anything that I can get her to be healthy, because I have had
good morning.
morning.
How are you today?
That's a pretty chair. Did you make that?
What's that?
Did you make that?
I put it together. I did not make it.
Oh,
It's a
good one.
Looks like one of those Amish ones.
Yeah, you're right. It does kind of have that flavor.
Yeah.
Sure does. How you doing today?
Good, how are you? It's warm.
It is a little warm. It's supposed to get warmer.
Oh,
So I'm
again?
trying to get things together.
Another heat wave.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not as bad as the other, like last week.
Yeah, that was
It was
scary.
Too much.
Yeah, that was too
I
much.
think 91 it might be today.
Oh, wow.
It's the humidity. That's what kills everyone.
Oh, yeah. Anyway. Just trying to be neighborly, because a lot of these people don't even know who my grandma is. Which is sad because a lot of people
Everybody asking you about your coffee?
Oh no, we were just talking about the heat wave last week.
It's coming back this week.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's annoying.
No, that's why I'm out now. I won't be able to breathe next week.
Yeah. Do you have asthma too?
Yeah.
No, but it's
I
it's
do.
so hot it's hard to breathe.
Oh yeah. My asthma gets bad when it's hot out,
Yeah.
so.
They said Monday we're supposed to have it again.
Ah, really?
Yep.
Ah, darn it. Well, hopefully they're wrong, because sometimes they could be wrong.
With the heat, I think they're always right. Anything else, they don't know.
Yeah. Well, stay cool.
You too.
Yep. A lot of people that my grandmother actually knew, they have since passed away, so she's kind of outliving everyone, which is cool, but at the same time, like, she's not living, she's just like existing in the body that she has, she woke up this morning rather terrified looking, and it broke my heart because she has no idea who any of us are anymore. She doesn't know anything really, but oh shoot. Okay, got it. I almost went off the curb there. She doesn't know really anything anymore. And, it's really quite sad to watch, someone who sent birthday cards to everyone for their birthday, and someone who started writing Christmas cards in October because she had a list a mile long, and someone who had everyone on her prayer list and would pray for like 2 to 3 hours a day, and just someone who had everything going for her. And it's sad to watch that kind of end. It's being an end of an era, and it's hard to cope with, even with diagnoses and doctors, and for me it's hard to cope with, even with diagnosis and doctors and medication and therapy and speaking about it and whatever. It's hard to it's hard to accept that reality because it's a really freaking harsh reality. It's not, not that I'm saying that cancer is easy, but it's not like it's cancer where it's like, oh, 3 to 6 months or a year, We've been going on like 3 years now. Um, and it's just it's a really hard reality. I'm 22, and my mom lost her grandmother when she was a sophomore in high school. So what was that, 16, 15? Hi, how are you? You get the laundry.
Good day for going around.
Oh yeah, it's hot though.
Yeah, if you don't mind the sun on you.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people, they use umbrellas on days like today.
Oh.
The
Yeah,
sun
it's
off of them.
yeah, that's one more thing to carry around though.
Yeah, I know.
But so I'm blessed to have my grandma from age 22 or from age 1 to 22, so or probably like 19ish because that's when she started to decline, but I one time in one of the dementia groups that I'm in, I went live one time in December before I got diagnosed and before I went into the hospital, and I just kind of lost it, and I complained about everything with dementia, and I just complained, and I cried for 30 minutes, and the video was removed because they were concerned for my well-being, which is fine because I wasn't well, but sometimes you just have to lose it to realize that they're losing it too. It's not just you, it's the person who is living in that body who can't remember who you are and can't remember how to eat solid food and can't remember, their telephone number and doesn't know their house anymore and doesn't know that their husband's been dead for, however many years and, doesn't know that you're not their sibling, you're their child, and doesn't know their children and doesn't know their grandchildren and doesn't know that they have great grandchildren. 5 of them. You know. So it's a super hard reality, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone, and I don't wish it on anyone. Unfortunately, allegedly, one of the people who I stopped speaking with in December, allegedly they said that one of their loved ones had dementia, but they didn't go and visit them, and they didn't really know anything about it, but they would say, oh, I'm there for you, but I'm like, how are you there for me? Like, if you don't Google things and if you don't ask questions, like, honestly, people may think that asking questions is like rude or whatever, but honestly, I think asking questions like shows that you care Because it's like the same thing, like if I was gonna send like my friend a care package or something, right? So I would ask, what's your favorite color? Are you allergic to anything? Can you eat food? Like, are you like gluten free, dairy free? You know, what type of allergies do you have? Like, do you have any allergies? Like, what's your t-shirt size? Like, you know, like if I was gonna do all that, that's me asking questions and writing stuff down and knowing that, you know, this person knows that I care, you know? But it's like this person would like this person would like I would be having a really hard time with dementia, and like they'd be like, oh, you can talk to me about dementia, and then they would be like, well, my loved one's loved one has it, and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, do you visit them? Do you see it? Do you live it? Do you breathe it? Do you do you do what I do with it? Like, 'cause I'm down here a lot with my grandma, and I'm, you know, here all the time, basically, now that I'm stable. When I was first getting stable, I wasn't here a lot, because I couldn't hold it together, and I would cry all the time. But, now that I'm better, I'm here a lot with my mom and stuff. And it's just like, I would ask this person, I'd be like, well, do you live it? Do you breathe it? Do you research it? Do you go to the walks? Do you sign up? Do you like, are you a part of any Facebook groups? Like, do you reach out to people? Do you have friends who have had it? You know, whatever. And they'd be like, no to everything. And I'm like, well, how do you say that you know when you've never been to, you know, anything, or you know, you don't do anything to, like, they would be like, well, I'm here for you, but blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, no, it doesn't work like that. Like, you need to be, like, honestly, like, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, like, I know that you might not deal with a hospice situation for a pretty long time, because it's, you know, something that our parents will probably be in, or our grandparents, or whatever. But like, seriously, honestly, like, if someone tells you that their family member is in hospice, whether it's an aunt, uncle, cousin, you know, sister, brother, something, if they tell you and you're not willing to Google, you're not willing to ask questions, you're not willing to research for them and help them, just say it. Because literally, it would have been better for me to know. Like, I told, this person was the first person that I had told that we had signed the do not resuscitate, which means if she were to go to the hospital and have some life-threatening issue, that they're not going to revive her if she were to die, you know? They're not going to try to revive her. They're not doing life-saving measures because she's old. And that's basically what you need to have when you're in hospice, because hospice means end of life. So this person was the first person that I told, because this person was my best friend, right? And they were like, well, I'm here for you, but can I tell you about my grandma and my situation and my. And I'm like, Like, what do you mean? Like, my grandma's like, what do you mean? We basically just said that my grandma's dying and we're not doing anything else but keeping her comfy. Like, literally, you guys, I was losing my shit that weekend. I probably should have been admitted that weekend too, but like I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is I just needed that weekend to be kind of selfish and kind of just be about me for a minute or two. And like I needed them to be like more supportive than they physically could, like emotionally and physically could be. I mean, even just a simple text, but I went over this story before. All they sent was a 99-cent card, and it was late. It came like a week after it all happened, so I had to relive it again because they said messages in the card related to the hospice thing. And I don't know, I just thought that was in really, really poor taste. The other people that I told were super, super nice about everything, and they, sent texts and emails and FaceTimes and, whatever and all this stuff. And I just can't thank them enough. But literally, if you're not willing to be like somebody's crutch if they need it, like if you're not willing to be helpful to them in their time of need, like honestly don't even bother being friends with them, because like that literally that weekend literally showed me who my friends are, and a person who I had known way less of time stepped up to the plate and was like everything that I needed. And like I was shocked because I didn't know this person for that long, but then the person who I'd known for 7 years basically was like, F you, I'm gonna live my own life and I'm gonna just send you a sympathy card and make you relive everything. Like a week later, I was very shocked and very like hurt. You learn who, I'll just put it this way to end this little discussion here. You learn who your friends are, and you learn who like you learn who your people are when you go through things like this, like tough times, like illness, or let's say you have to leave school for whatever reason. You learn who your friends are, and your friends could be like professors that have reached out to you and still make sure you're okay and want to see pictures of your dog and want to know about training and stuff like that. And just they want to make sure that you're all right, and they check in on you time to time, and they ask how you're doing and how's your family and all that stuff. And that's your professor, but like you could be in class with someone and they don't even like, they're just like, all right, that person dropped out, like whatever. So but that's pretty much it. Basically, when illness strikes, you learn who your friends are, and you learn that the people who you thought were your friends are not your friends, and they were fakety bullshit. And yeah, and it sucks, but you know, God has a plan, and that's what it is. And sometimes you're like, well, why did you waste my time with all these people? But I know that I impacted them some way, because their family likes me, and well, they did. I'm sure they don't now, but their family did like me, and I was there for that person through a lot of stuff, and yeah. But when illness strikes and things get tough, and I couldn't like hang out. Basically, when illness strikes and you learn who your people are that you can count on, and that's that. And it's sad because you may think that it's one person, but it's really not. It's like you may, like I was honestly shocked that that the person who I could count on was someone who, I've only known for like a year. Well, Jill, who I've only known for like a year, and then Cassidy at the time, who I only knew for like a year and a half, I want to say. Like those two really stepped up, and they did what they needed to do. And the other one, who I knew for 7 years, who you all know who she is by now, but she kind of just was like, no, I can't deal with this, it's too hard. Like, I mean, and that's the thing, like, I mean, come on, like, I've known you for 7 years. You can't pick up a phone to make sure that I'm okay. I mean, not that I'm saying that I wasn't okay, but like I wasn't in the best space. And it really hurt me that this person couldn't pick up a phone and make sure that I was okay. But I see on their social media that they're Snapchat storying and their Instagram storying and their Instagram this and Snapchat that and tweet this and Facebook that. And I mean, I'm sure they're gonna find out some way or another that she died, and no, she didn't die, but like, you know, when she does die, that she died. And they still have my address, and I'd be interested to see if their grandmother makes them send me a card or something. Cause you know, I mean, I don't get how you just can drop some. I mean, like I obviously had to drop her because I was sick and I wasn't okay. I was not okay. And God showed me that she was not the person for me, who could help me through issues. But I just don't understand how after like 7 years and like all the things that I did for that person, I don't understand how they could just so easily turn their back and just like not even like a literal card when not that I'm saying, not okay, this is dramatic, but like literally I could have been dead and they wouldn't even care. No, I mean they'd care, but like you know, you don't know what could have happened, right? So like I could have been in trouble and they wouldn't even know because they wouldn't pick up the phone, they weren't texting, they weren't calling, they weren't FaceTiming, they weren't reaching out to any of my family, and they had all their contact information whether it was via Facebook or whether it was phone numbers or whatever. They weren't reaching out to anyone. And that right there shows true colors. Whether you're willing to call someone at 3 in the morning or not, or whatever. It was a very one-sided relationship. Like, she took from me what she needed, and then it was like, oh, you're strong enough, you can do it on your own. She won't be saying that when her grandma enters hospice. And I would get very mad at her when she would yell at her grandmother. Because not that I'm saying that I want to yell at my grandmother, but I don't have time anymore for it to be a normal grandmother-granddaughter relationship. I don't have that time anymore. And it's pretty sad. But, like, you really, when times get rough, you really do realize who your friends are and who your friends aren't. And it's sad that hello. It's sad that illness brings that out of people, but I mean, I'd rather have learned that like 6 months earlier, but I mean, I couldn't. And I kind of feel like that whole, I mean, I treasure the memories, but if it was gonna go down like that, I'm like, wow, like, you know, why couldn't you show me that like a couple months ago, you know what I mean? But it's just sad, and it doesn't reflect bad on me, because I was just someone going through the process of saying goodbye to their grandmother. Like, you know, it's not my fault. Like, if anything, it reflects bad on this person, because all they did was send a card. Like, literally, you guys, it was a 99-cent card, and it had her signature on it. It had her signature, it had her grandmother's signature, and it had one of her great aunt's signature on it. That was it. So, it's a tough reality, dementia, but it's not one that we can't get through if we all do it together. But seriously, like, if you're not willing, like if you even suspect for a minute that your friend or best friend or whatever is not willing to help you when times get rough, just get rid of them. Just get rid of them, because it's not fair. It's not fair to you. It's definitely not fair to you.